Next up, we want to take a look at mental health care here in New Hampshire. There is an initiative called Change Direction New Hampshire to change the culture around this topic. Perhaps you've seen the TV ads about that. We're joined by former Attorney General Joe Foster. Thanks for being here today. I appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
Department of Safety Commissioner John Bothermus. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
And Department of Corrections Commissioner William Wren. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks, sure.
You're all working with former Justice Broderick on this. Give me some idea of what Change Direction is all about.
Change Direction is really to bring awareness to mental health issues in the state and to get in on the front end to make sure that people with mental health issues get the treatment that they need. 1 in 5 Americans have a diagnosable mental health condition. Unfortunately, over half of those individuals don't get the treatment they need. So it's to collectively, all of us have a responsibility, whether it's in our homes, our schools, our workplaces, to identify individuals that may have one of those conditions and reach out and help.
And you mentioned before we started talking here that a lot of these people with mental health conditions will head down on a path of crime. Is that usually the case, or sometimes the case, I should say?
Yeah, many people with mental health issues do not make their way into the correction system, but some people do. Many individuals who have mental health issues that are untreated will actually self-medicate themselves with substances and ultimately will find their way into the criminal justice system when they purchase illegal drugs. We saw that a lot in the work that I did as Attorney General.
And do you find that often substance abuse and mental health issues are tied together?
Yeah, many people who have mental health issues have a dual diagnosis of abusing substances, as I said, because they're untreated. So what they do is they, in effect, treat themselves with these substances.
Yeah. So Change Direction, the idea is to take some of the stigma away. Can you talk a little about, you gave a good example of the car accident victim before. Talk a little bit about that.
Right. I think, first, law enforcement is come a long way from when Bill and myself were out there on the field. There was very little recognition. There is a lot of crisis intervention training now. So law enforcement is more than ever leaning forward on mental health issues. The natural reaction, unfortunately, with society is a lot of times when somebody has a mental health issue, they kind of back off.
Instead of scared of it.
They are. Whereas most people, you know, they want to help, and we see that if somebody's in a car accident you mentioned, they're going to lean in. Somebody has a physical injury,
yep,
they're fine with it. But in mental health, people are reluctant to get involved, and we need to change that.
Now, a lot of these people will wind up in the correction system. Do you have any idea of how many people that are in our prisons in New Hampshire right now have some sort of mental health issue?
Well, Sean, I have to tell you, looking at the population of who we have in prison is very telling. Roughly 65% of those in prison have some level of a mental health issue. 85% have a substance use disorder. And out of that group, about 55% don't even have a high school diploma. Wow. Or a high school equivalency. To me, and to those of us in the prison system, it's all directly linked to mental illness. That mental illness is the key to what is happening, yeah, with those in the prison system. We have become the largest mental health provider in the states. And really, it's a shame to think that here in our society at this time in our lives that the prison systems become the largest mental health providers for the states. The 5 Signs effort is to have people really identify mental illness in a person at an early age, and then take some sort of means to intervene in that person's life to try to get them into treatment before they get to the point where they're in crisis and they perhaps revert to crime. Mm-hmm. That would bring them into mental health systems in the prison. It's really too late at that point in time. If you could intervene earlier and get that person to treatment, perhaps you could prevent that person from ending up in prison, ruining their life, ruining the lives of those families, creating more victims out there of crime. And I have to tell you, it's very costly to treat people in the prison system. It would be a lot cheaper to treat them in the community.
Very expensive way to do it. We had the 5 signs up there before. So these are the signs right here. So basically the idea is you want to be looking out for these signs. Is that kind of part of Change Direction?
Absolutely. And it's as I said before, it's not only public safety officials, but what we really want to drive the message to families, our schools, at our workplace. Individuals should know those 5 signs. They should understand also, we talked about the car accident before, the other component is we need to destigmatize. So it is knowing those 5 signs, but once you know the 5 signs, make sure you try to connect with those individuals that may be in crisis, may have a personality change, may be unexplained reason they're agitated or angry, or just they may be overwhelmed by hopelessness. It's one thing to know the 5 signs, but the most important thing is we try to connect with those individuals and get them the help they need before they end up in the criminal justice system.
In a way, the 5 signs are a way to train the public out there. Are law enforcement officers, are corrections officers trained to identify this type of thing?
We don't train our corrections officers necessarily to identify it. We already know when they come into our system that they're suffering from mental illness, just due to the testing that we do and trying to understand the drivers of what brought them into the prison system to begin with. As I said, quite often it's mental illness and substance use. Now, those are really 2 key factors that bring people into our prisons. So we identify that. Now, our officers and our staff receive extra training when it comes to treating mental illness. So when they come into our population, we do everything we can to treat them. First of all, to stabilize them when they come in, and then to treat them, get them on the right medications perhaps, and get them to a point where they can essentially live, whether it be in the prison or when they are released, live back in the community and perhaps live to some level of success. As opposed to the way they came in.
You mentioned about 65% of the population in the prison have mental health issues of a variety, no doubt, which blows my mind. But how many of those do you know are getting medication through the state prison system?
The majority are getting medication through our system. A huge portion of our budget is earmarked for prescription drugs, and quite often those prescription drugs are psychotropics that deal with the mental illness factors involved with our population. Very costly for us to do that as a prison system, as a state, to treat individuals within the prison. It would be much cheaper to be able to do that if we were be able to identify them in the community, keep them in the community, and treat them in the community.
And as you mentioned before, as officers, it can be obviously very frightening to encounter somebody who has mental health issues, possibly someone armed with a gun. How do police officers deal with something like this?
It's crisis intervention training. They are taught how to de-escalate those situations, and and that's really what we're talking about. Before we get into encounters like that, there are a lot of warning signs that have been ignored, and so our goal is to hopefully reach people, connect with people, get them the help they need before we get into those type of incidents. Because we're seeing an increase nationally, and in New Hampshire we are seeing an increase in suicide, and a lot of those suicides are suicide by police officer, where they've already, and if you go back and you talk to the family members, the loved ones, they've usually got a long history of untreated mental illness.
So, the goal, I think, is if somebody has a physical ailment, there's treatment available to them, and people, if they see it, will say, God, you got to go see a doctor. When it comes to mental illness, it should be treated the same way. People should intercede, they should identify it, and help the people go out and get the treatment, and the treatment should be available for them. I think that's the ultimate goal of the program.
Is that the key to this? When someone asks, how do we fix this problem? Is it just simply more beds for people with mental health issues, that type of thing, more treatment?
I think more treatment. The goal ultimately is the state does need some more beds, and I believe the legislature has added some beds, but also it's having treatment in the community available, having providers available, having insurers treat mental illness the same way they treat physical illness. That's what needs to happen.
Not everybody is going to need inpatient treatment.
Sure.
Outpatient treatment can handle the majority of the problem here, but they first have to be identified, and then there has to be an intervention where that person is essentially led into some sort of treatment. And that can come from the school authorities. You know, it might be a student that's identified as having issues. It might be friends, family members, neighbors. Identifying that there's something going on with this person. Perhaps they need treatment. Perhaps it's a mental illness that needs treatment. And intervening instead of just walking away and going the other way and trying to ignore it.
Treatment works. I mean, it does work. I mean, it's the idea is to get that treatment as soon as possible. And I can tell you in the Department of Safety, yes, we are a public safety agency of 1,500 people, but we're also a workplace. We have a lot of civilians, and we have peer support teams to help our folks, but we also are having training on knowing the 5 signs and also what stigma is and how it impacts getting treatment for the people that really need it.
Yeah. Have you found that over the years these people get arrested is the first time they're ever seeing a doctor, or first time getting treatment? It took an arrest to do that?
Many of those that are coming to prison, it's the first time they're receiving any sort of treatment whatsoever. The first time, in many cases, they're being diagnosed. Some don't even know that they have a mental illness until they come into the prison system and our doctors diagnose them with some level of a mental illness. And then they prescribe the treatment for them, and they realize that what they thought was normal before was not.
Okay.
And it gives them a new perspective, and hopefully then when they transition back to the community, they can live a better life.
We've got about 20 seconds left. If you could send one message out to the public about this topic, what would you like it to be?
If you see somebody who exhibits the 5 signs, intercede, encourage them to get treatment. As the commissioner said, treatment works. It'll save the state a lot of money in the prison system ultimately, and frankly will make our people much better off.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. All right, thank you very much, former Attorney General Joe Foster, Department of Safety Commissioner John Barthelmess, and Department of Corrections Commissioner William Wren, doing a lot of work on this topic. I appreciate it. That does it for us.